big unexpected news to share with you guys. So Hunter's father, Casey, he has filed for full custody of Hunter. And not only that, but he also filed for full custody of Hunter's son, Wes. Shout out to the Ashley Reality Roundup. They're the ones that broke this story. But they reveal, according to court records, that Casey decided to sue Chris, which is Hunter's mother, for full custody of Wes. And we saw in this last episode of Unexpected, Bella's mother was freaking out after Bella said that Hunter kept telling her that he thinks that she's pregnant again when she literally just popped out a baby. And Bella's mother was like, well, if you guys have another baby, then I'm definitely going to have to adopt Wes and have full custody of him. But Hunter's dad is fighting for full custody for himself because he feels like there's clear and convincing evidence that it's in the best interest of Wes. And he feels like Hunter is just not capable of giving the tools that Wes needs to be raised by Hunter. He feels like he lacks the maturity, the judgment, and the guidance to care for Wes. Hunter's father noted in court records that he feels like Hunter has had a lack of appropriate guidance, and he feels like he does not promote the maturity and the judgment required to be a custodial parent. I mean, we've pretty much seen that when he's around Bella's parents. It's obvious that Bella's own mother doesn't even trust Hunter with the baby alone, so she has to constantly hover over him with the baby and take the baby every 5 seconds because she doesn't fully trust him, and Hunter's father just does not trust him at all. And he feels like Bella's parents are not providing the supervision that they need for Hunter, Bella, and Wes, and he feels like that they're not placing boundaries and not enforcing these boundaries, and they're just allowing these kids to make all these bad decisions and really aren't giving them any kind of punishment or pushback. And we've seen that. I mean, literally, as soon as Hunter and Bella came home from the hospital, they literally let them take a shower together in their own house. I'm sure that scene, along with a few other scenes, is what made Hunter's dad finally say, this is the final straw. I need to get full custody of Hunter and Wes. And he also went and made a court filing yesterday because he wanted some changes done to their custody agreement. And I think a lot of this has to do with what has came out these past 2 weeks on unexpected episodes. And I also think it has to deal with what was leaked recently. Somebody posted anonymously and they said that Hunter and Bella are already pregnant again, and they said, I know the family. And someone was like, when? And they said, I can't answer that part, but she's already pregnant again. I know the family personally, and she also uses the same doctor as I do, and she was there a few weeks ago, and she was talking about how she can't wait to see the ultrasound of her baby. So if there is some truth to this, that means, she isn't at 4 months pregnant yet, because you have to be 4 months pregnant typically to see the baby on ultrasound. She would be in the very early stages of pregnancy. But she did post a TikTok yesterday with her sister, and they both decided to take a pregnancy test, and she said that she is not pregnant. And she also had like really dark yellow pee, and she's like, guys, I'm sorry for the dark yellow pee, I'm really sick right now. But I mean, we don't know. That video could have been filmed like a month ago when you just decided to post it. Maybe you're trying to throw us all off. I believe it was the shower scene though, and this pregnancy rumor that's circulating that made the father run down to the courthouse to make this court emergency custody filing. And he also pointed out in the filing that Bella's parents allowed inappropriate interactions and a lack of during a critical period following Wes's birth. And I think they're talking about the shower scene, and we saw Bella in this last episode literally admit to doing it with Hunter 4 days after she gave birth to the baby. So they didn't waste no time. And he said that the conditions that Bella's parents have provided show that they have failed to demonstrate or prioritize any kind of stability for Bella or Hunter. Hunter's dad pointed out that Bella's parents will not allow Hunter to visit with the baby by himself. He claims that the only time he can see his baby is if he's over at Bella's parents' house. So it sounds like he's not able to take the baby outside the home when them not around, and they have to be around supervising him when he's around the baby. So it goes to show the same point that I said earlier, that they do not trust him around the baby by himself at all at this point. And they just got to slowly make baby steps. You know, let him be with the baby for 30 minutes by himself, let him keep the baby overnight, then just keep extending it from there. Like, they can't just keep enabling and doing everything for him, but I also understand that they got to look out for the baby's best interest. And if Hunter just can't do it, then maybe it's best that his dad steps up and adopts the baby right now. And he also pointed out that Bella's parents at their house, they reinforce peer level decision making rather than adult guidance necessary for appropriate parenting. And I think that is very well said. They don't guide the children like they need to. They're too much of their friends instead of their parents. And it kind of, I can't remember the name of it, but you know, you got the helicopter parent, and what is it, like the free reign parent or something like that, and they just let the kids free reign and learn from their own mistakes and just kind of get into everything and learn the hard way. Like, oh, if I climb up this big dresser and I fall and hit my head, that's on me. And they're not going to stop their kid because they're going to let their kids kind of learn by their own mistakes. That's kind of how I feel like Bella's parents are. And I just feel like after you have a baby, they should be tightening up and getting stricter with the kids to make sure it doesn't happen again. But Hunter's dad filed for full custody, and he's asking if he can at least get joint custody of Wes if they do not grant him full custody. And they ended up serving Hunter's mother, and she has 30 days to respond with a written response to the court. The day before Hunter's dad filed for full custody, he went to the courts and he asked for an expedited hearing so he can get in front of the judge, because he's trying to have some changes to the custody agreement. He wants to make sure that if Hunter is at home with his mother or at Bella's house with her parents, he wants to make sure that Bella and Hunter are both supervised at all times. He wants to make sure that they're not just left alone in the room by themselves for hours on end. And I guess Bella's mother ended up buying Hunter a cell phone, and with this cell phone she's able to track Hunter's location at all times. So he is asking for Hunter, I don't know if he's asking for Hunter's phone to get shut off and for him to get a new phone, but he wants the phone in his name. And he also wants to make sure that Bella's parents are no longer able to track him. But that's pretty much it, guys. And like I said, he asked for an expedited court hearing to get the court hearing done as quick as possible, because he says that there are just so many big concerns that need to be addressed right now. Like, he pointed out the fact that Hunter has missed school multiple times while he was with his mother as of recently. At this point, unless he's like sick, there's no excuse for him to be missing school, especially when Bella's mother has quit her job so she can watch the kid full time while Bella and Hunter are both at school, and she's the one that's staying up at night when the baby's waking up in the middle of the night, not Hunter. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.